Others, they last forever.
The National Multiple Sclerosis Society is a collective of passionate individuals united by a common goal to address the challenges of each person whose life is affected by MS. The National MS Society leads these initiatives because we believe that moving is not just something you can or can't do, but rather is who you are. That if you are alive, you are connected to the potential, the hope, the moment.
For us, I know the Triple Crown USA national polls, the rankings have just been unveiled, and now there's a ranking system. There's a couple teams here in front of us. Texas Impact Gold currently ranked number 7 in those national rankings, and they got off to the start here. A couple of home runs got them up 2-1 with a long ball, but then it became the small ball game of Miners Gold. You know both these teams fairly well, right, Dave?
Yeah, and Texas Impact is more of a big bat team. They swing those big new Louisville sluggers, and they pound it. So they count on the big shot, where Miners Gold's more a punch and go, do the fine things, got good pitching. But I'd give Miners Gold the nod right now. They've done some things with this game that I don't think a lot of people saw coming. The California teams know Miners Gold for real. The rest of America did not know how good Nina's team was right now.
So 7-4 is where the score stands. Again, it was 1-0 Impact Gold, then 2-1 Impact Gold, then 4-2 Miners Gold. Got tied back up 4-4. Miners Gold has actually stood up to several punches from the Impact Gold out of Texas, and really have turned this into what, when you watch the game, it appears they have control of this thing. They look like they're playing their game. They switch pitchers in the middle of the game to mix things up a little bit, and it's been a good change. Again, Dara has done a good job throwing the ball from the circle. So that's the situation there. We're glad you're still with us, and we look forward to carrying forward tonight. We've got a big night of broadcast going for you with a triple header tonight, Dave. This is a little bit insane.
Yes, I know, for someone like you. I mean, we have the other semifinal game and then the new championship of our power pools and 16s. We're mixing a little concert in the middle, so we should have some fun tonight.
I do want to mention that if you're with us during that third game of our triple header, there'll be a concert going on, and we'll actually cover. In a weather delay, returning to Aurora, Colorado. It's a little drippy, but it's time to play ball here in just a couple of minutes. The Lightning has moved out of the area. The requisite wait time has passed, a little over 30 minutes, in fact, to make sure the Lightning is cleared. Now, it's not to say it couldn't come back, but as it stands, the tournament directors have been taking a look around and checking radar, and ball will be played here in just a couple of minutes. So the teams are back to warming up with Miners Gold in the lead, 7-4 over Texas Impact Gold. 7-4 our score in the top of the 6th inning. And it looks like we've got a 2-2 count with 1 out in the top of the 6th is where we stand when we resume things. There's a player who's been big in this game. Mackenzie Long, the center fielder for Miners Gold, has done some good work for her team on the bases, as she's been on 2 of the 3 times. Let me double check that. I've got rain all over my scorecard. 3 of the 3 times she has come to the plate, she's been on. Once with a hit and a couple times on errors. Also has played some good center field defense. A couple of nice plays, including a big double off on a line out to the right center gap, and then she threw behind Andrea Hawkins at first base to force her out and ended an inning. So some players getting things done. Caitlin Fitzgerald, you see right there, warming up. Caitlin has looked good, hitting that 3-hole, good-looking swing, and she's done some things in this game, too, that have stood out and helped her team get to that 7-4 lead. And here's a quick look through. Monica and Christy are back looking at Thad Anderson, and we'll look at some images, Monica, from the early going in this game.
There's that first and third play. Great read by the runner at third to let that ball go through to the shortstop and make her make that long throw.
And moving deeper in the game, Christy, Miners Gold kept going. They've been putting runs on to stay up in the lead.
They did. I mean, they're just scrappy, as their coach described. They're just going to put the ball in play and force the defense to get them out.
You know, the Miners Gold, they're taking advantage of some of the errors in the game with missed hits. They're just really doing anything to try and put that ball in play and force the Texas Impact to make a great play.
I think at this point, it's going to be a matter of who can deal with the weather better. I mean, a perfect example was this year's College World Series championship game between Oklahoma and Alabama. and it was raining and the ball was wet, and you just saw the adjustments that the pitchers made, and one made a better adjustment than the other, but they both had the same circumstances. It was the uncontrollables that they had to deal with. And one of the things that the great Lisa Fernandez would do is she would pick up the worst ball in the bucket, and she would pitch off the worst mound that she could find, and she would get herself practicing in the worst conditions so that when something like this comes up, it was second nature to her. She's already practicing this. She's already played in something like this. So it's who can handle those conditions better.
The overtraining concept comes into play right now. When you get these conditions, you're looking at Miners Gold. We flip it over to the Texas Impact Gold dugout as they prepare to resume and try to figure out a way to overcome this 3-run deficit for the Impact Gold. Their first 2 runs came on 2 swings of the bat, a couple of solo blasts in this game, and it was in the second inning where they went into that 2-1 lead. Another ball out of the yard. The home runs in this game by Reagan Bunker, who hit one out, and Tori Vidalis also took one out for Texas Impact Gold.
Yeah, the unique thing about rain delays now is that the Texas Impact Gold, they have a fresh start. They get to start off their offense again. They get another chance to restart the game. 3 runs, it's not too big of a lead, and they definitely will have a chance to try and get some momentum going into these last 2 innings.
Now, for those who watch all kinds of diamond sports, if people were watching the men's College World Series, and the regionals that went on, super regionals that went on, there were rain delays. Obviously, in baseball, the topic becomes starting pitching. And now, the belief, and I don't know if it's accurate, but the belief is that in fast pitch, pitchers can just go and throw 15 games in a row. And I don't really think that's necessarily how people are approaching it anymore. But a weather delay for a fast pitch pitcher, what are the dynamics of that to return to the circle?
Well, the biggest thing about a weather delay, and in pitching in general, whether you're in a weather delay or an extra long inning, it's all about keeping your sweat, okay? So you gotta keep your body warm, keep your momentum, keep your focus. And a lot of times during long delays or long innings, you see a pitcher come back to the circle and they initially walk a batter, they forget the zone, they'll end up, giving up a hit or two before they are able to focus back into that game. And that's going to be the challenge for both pitchers here today going back into the innings.
You saw Cheyenne Gandera pitching there, rewarming herself, and the shoes of Demi Turner being worked a little bit to get the slicks off of that. The shortstop for the Impact Gold, you see throwing 41. Demi getting herself ready to go. Cheyenne Gandera is pitching now currently for Miners Gold, and we saw that mid-game change as a hitter, Christy. Third inning, it was after the third inning, so starting the fourth inning is when Miners Gold changed the pitching on the Impact Gold. As a hitter, you're just settling in probably, and then you've got to almost restart your game from a mentality standpoint to that new pitcher.
Absolutely, and if I was out there right now, I'd be watching her warm up. I would be working on my timing and when to get to toe touch, and it's not that your swing's going to change. It's just you've got to know, if you have history on the pitcher and you know what her strengths are, then it's going to give you a little bit of a plan when you go in there. And I think that if you're hitting well, you don't need a plan. You just see it and hit it. But if you're struggling a little bit, it's always good to have a plan when you go in there. Hey, you know what? I only like outside pitches, so I'm not swinging at anything that unless it's an outside pitch until I get 2 strikes. And then once I get that, then I'll have to open up my zone. But I think that right now, they're going to have to go through the lineup again and get used to this new pitcher and learn from each other. But if I'm a left-handed hitter and I have somebody in front of me that's hitting left-handed that's the same type of hitter as me, I'm going to pay attention when she's up to bat and see what type of pitch sequence they're throwing her, how they're throwing her, because it's probably going to be the same thing that they do to me when I get up.
We saw Katie Marks moments ago, number 4 for the Impact Gold, getting herself prepared to head back out. You can see some drops still flying, but not an issue. The rain is falling, but not a game stopper right now. And the field is actually probably in the best condition it's been all day. It's been so hot in Colorado that these fields have gotten hard and a little bit powdery. This is, from an infielding standpoint, these are the conditions you love right here. A little forgiveness in the dirt.
Yeah, but the outfield, it is not the best condition because the ball's going to skip faster. And you're going to have to hold on to the ball a little bit lighter and throw lower, because if you hold on to it really tight, it's just going to slip. It's just going to pop right out of your hand. So the outfield should be taking ground balls and working on how to throw a wet ball and keeping it low, because the last thing they want to do is sail it over the cut or sail it over the base.
I think the point you're getting to there leads me to the next thought on that. I think you're on a great topic, which may have a huge impact on where this game goes. The odds of the +3 for Miners Gold becoming bigger would seem to play their advantage with the pressure game and the speed game they've been putting on. That margin for error was not big anyway, and now ball handling could become an issue.
Absolutely.
Right.
And that's what the advantage of putting the ball in play is. I mean, you've got to rely on other than just the long ball. You've got to put the ball in play, force the defense to make the out, and see how strong they are.
Well, we're heading back into ball, and the teams are about to wrap up their rewarm process. That sweat, we had this break. You've both been working hard, and I know we appreciate your efforts to get in here and work these games with us. Were you able to keep your broadcasting sweat up during this break?
I had to refocus, get some energy. I did a couple jumping jacks in between the break, make sure that I was really focused for this last part of the game.
Christy, your training techniques regarding a broadcasting weather delay?
My cell phone.
And what happened there? Or shan't we talk about it?
I don't know.
I was actually in here taking a look at our next couple of games. We had information coming in from the Wichita Mustangs and Worth Firecrackers, who are due up to play our next ball game on CBS Sports Network after the conclusion of this game. We may push the pace just for viewers to be aware. We may turn that one around in about a 15 to 20 minute time window at the conclusion of this game, if the weather will cooperate, instead of that 30-minute break in between that I made reference to earlier. So if you're tuning in to check out Worth Firecrackers playing a semifinal of these 18-year-old power pools versus the Wichita Mustangs, this game we're in right now is in the top of the sixth, just coming out of a weather delay. And then just stick with us on CBS Sports Network, because not long after the conclusion of this one, we will queue up, again, if the weather will cooperate with us, we'll queue up that Mustangs and Firecrackers showdown to determine the team that will meet the winner of our current game in tomorrow's televised championship matchup. Well, they're out there, and here we go. It's time to get back to ball at the Triple Crown Fireworks and Sparkler in Aurora, Colorado. Thad Anderson, Christy Ambrosi, and Monica Abbott with you from the booth. Heather Pink is probably a little bit soggy, but she's still working those dugouts and bleachers for us, and we'll try to check in with Heather in the next short amount of time here to get a feel for what things are like down on the field. But we'll get back to action now as the Miners Gold have the bats, and they're up by 3. And we've got Casey Mattos in the box with 1 out and a 2-2 count. Tough spot.
Yeah.
Step back into a 2-2.
Tough spot. You expect